Another review and another movie we've got here really, really late. January sucks to be a movie lover in the UK. It really does.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Starring, amongst others, Melissa McCarthy and Richard E. Grant. Directed by Marielle Heller, off of a screenplay by Nicole Holofcener and Jeff Whitty. This is my review for Can You Ever Forgive Me? Can You Ever Forgive Me is based on the true story of Lee Israel. She was a writer who lost her fame, as it were. She lost her success. Her writing career was on the dwindles. It wasn't doing as well as it had been. And she was struggling to make ends meet. She's very much not a people person. She just loves her cat. The closest friend she has is this guy played by Richard E. Grant, who's a bit of a loose cannon himself. And she, along with him, formed this kind of joint crime venture of forging documents, pretending they were written by famous authors or they were famous historical notes, and she starts fraudulently selling these on and becoming a bit addicted to the money that she's making doing it. The story itself is actually a very, very interesting one, and I do actually want to say something about Melissa McCarthy before I say any more here. I may have mentioned this before, I don't know if I have, but I could not stand Melissa McCarthy. I really did not like her at all, to the point where I actively avoided the movies that she was in. There was just something about her that just wound me up. It was the sort of performance that she does in a lot of her comedy films, where she just thinks that being loud is funny, and to some people it is, but to me it's not. There has to be a little bit more to it, and she never really had that. Then I watched Gilmore Girls and fell in love with her. She was so good in that show that I saw a completely different side to her acting, and I should have looked at other films that she did. It was my fault. She's done a few dramatic films over the time. There was one, the name escapes me, one with Bill Murray I've been meaning to check out. And something like this proves the point that she was worth giving a second look at, because she is great in this film. There's only really the two leads, Melissa McCarthy and Richard E. Grant. There's other characters in the movie, there are other actors, but these guys are the main two. They hold it together, especially Melissa McCarthy. Richard E. Grant's in it quite a bit less than she is, but McCarthy is in, I can't remember if it's every scene, but it's most of the movie that she's in, because it's her story. It's the story of Lee Israel. And they really focus on that. They focus on who this character is and why she's doing the things that she's doing. And it was important that Lee Israel was not necessarily nice, but there was a way to kind of connect with her on some level. Because, as I said, not a people person. Not a people person at all, in any shape of the word. But there has to be something likeable about her. And McCarthy, I think, is just about able to bring that to this character, just about able to make her somebody the audience can not necessarily root for, but can understand, can not just want to see punished. I mean, I certainly didn't. I didn't want her to get away with what she was doing, but at the same time, kind of didn't want bad things for her, because I kind of liked her. I can almost sympathise a bit from not really being a people person. Like, if I could just be surrounded by cats, or guinea pigs, I've got two over there, animals really, I'd take that. People, worst thing to happen to this planet, and I say that as a member of the race myself. But yeah, I like the character for many reasons, but I just connected with her just on that level. But McCarthy's performance is so good here, so strong, that I think it'd be difficult not to root for her in some way or another. Richard E. Grant, great in this. He's great in this, so good. It's a very irreverent take on a character by Grant on this one. He's very funny, very, very funny. He's a homosexual man who's got a lot of money and just enjoys life. Just tries to do things that he enjoys, even if it's at the expense of other people. So he's not a particularly nice character either, but the performance is so good and so strong. I just want to say, I hope it's like a resurgence for Richard E. Grant. I may be wrong, he may still be a pretty big name in the acting world, but the last thing I remember seeing him in was Doctor Who. He's such a good actor. He really is. He deserves amazing, big name starring performances again. And this is proof of why. And I'm really surprised that the pairing of him and Melissa McCarthy is so good. I really am. They're not the two actors that I would ever think you'd put them together and you'd have fireworks, but you do. They're great. The script, very strong as well. It's a very much a slow burn. In my If Beale Street Could Talk review, I said that I struggle with slow films, and I do, unless there's some kind of plot momentum, plot movement going. And this one, thankfully, in the second half, it does kick up a gear. Not to the point where it's kind of edgy, you see excitement, not to the point where it flies by, but it does move forward. It does escalate things. It feels like a sort of building tension along the way. So it's a lot easier for me to forgive the fact that it's quite a slow burn for the first half. And it's really slow. Like, it takes a long time for things to get going on, but you're just held by the performances of McCarthy and Richard E. Grant, because the two of them, they hold the screen. So even in the film's quieter moments, even if you were wishing that it would just get a move on a little bit, thankfully, they're worth watching. Just the two of them. I could just sit and watch the two of them banter and spar with each other for about a 2-hour runtime, to be honest, quite easily. So, yeah, kudos to the casting department in this one. They did really well. I do just wish there'd been something more to this one, something a little bit that felt a bit more substantial, because there is, I mean, the story itself is a very interesting one. Very, very simple, very low-key, but interesting. But I just wish there was more done with it. I wish there was more done with the outcome of it, with kind of what happened to her. Because you get the end of the story, as it were, but it just feels like there's more story there to tell. It felt like there's more things that this could have explored. And just the whole world of forgery and the things that she was forging, it just would have been nice to not just see her write them, but to see her get all the ideas of who she was going to write about and where these things came from. And to just make the movie feel like it had a little bit more substance. Because by the time it wraps up, like, it's not a bad film. It's one I did enjoy. I mean, I've been pretty positive, I think, thus far. But when the credits did roll at the end, it just felt like there was a bit more story there. And that could just be because it was quite slow going. And then in the last bit of the movie, it picked things up. And I just wanted to see more of it at that pace. That could potentially be the reason, but just for me, it just felt a bit flat when things rolled out. It felt like just, yeah, okay, fine, it was alright. And that sums up this film quite nicely for me. It's alright. Boosted by some great performances, boosted by a script that's occasionally very, very smart. Just an enjoyable film, I think, if a little bit on the pedestrian side. I'm going to give Can You Ever Forgive Me a 7 out of 10. Have you seen Can You Ever Forgive Me? I mean, it came out in October, stateside. I'm bitter, can you tell? But let me know if you have seen it. Let me know in the comments below. Do hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of them. As always, plenty of reviews coming soon. You can follow me on Twitter @JoeJulians if you want to have a chat with me on there. Thank you very much for watching this, and I will see you on the next video.